Today let's talk about the Assaulter class. How would you revamp it? What kind of equipment and gear would you give them that would make them fall more in line in regards to balance? Hey guys, how's it going? Kulprit here, and today I wanted to continue my talk about revamping the classes. I talked the other day about the medic class, revamping that, looking forward towards Battlefield 4 in the context of Battlefield, and specifically kind of Battlefield 3. I'm going to use Battlefield 3 kind of as the tools we have right now. Obviously, there's some great ideas you guys had in the comments of that, but they were bigger, the bigger ideas. And total, that's a total revamp, total overhaul, that type of thing. So I'm going to avoid that. And I'm just going to try to work with some of the tools we have within Battlefield 3. I'm going to take some liberties, but I want to keep it as feasibly doable as possible. Otherwise, we could go on for days about, these pipe dream ideas, which would be fantastic, don't get me wrong. But I want to talk in the context of things they could realistically get done. Today, I want to talk about the Assault class. The last video I took the Medic class and I broke it out of the Battlefield 3 Assault class. I made it into two classes. I feel that's how it has to be done. Merging the Assaulter with the ARs and the 320 with the Medic with the revive and healing capabilities was, it was great as far as just ease of play and lack of having to decide. But as far as balancing in the game and balancing classes, it did not work. So what are some of the concepts I would like to see implemented or, just discussed amongst ourselves? I would like to keep the weapons how they are. Assault rifles, they fit, obviously, the Assault class. Maybe I should talk a little bit about how I see the Assault class work. For me, the Assault class is just that. It is pushing it. It is the tip of the spear, so to speak. It should be on objectives, be that MCOMs, be that, domination points, conquest points, whatever you think. They should be the guys doing that upfront, dangerous, dirty work, arming the MCOMs, that kind of thing. To that end, that's why I feel like assault rifles work the best. They're the most well-rounded weapon. These guys are going to get in the most various or most varied gunfights, so to speak, engagements. The discussion for me is going to be how would you fill out the gadgets and tools and things like that. In the medic kit, I talked about changing kind of how the medic, the healing, and the revives work, but I kept the actual, the gear the same. What I would like to do in the assault kit is, again, keep in mind that these are going to be the objective horse. These are they should be anyway. They should be PTFOing. They should be on those conquest points, those MCOMs. So to that end, the way I see it is, right now in Battlefield 3, you go in and you pick your 320, you pick your smoke, you might pick your mass, the M26, whatever. These are all under battle things, and they're all kind of jammed into one category. You augment your weapon, that's it. I'd like to see a little more choice in there, and in the way I see it as kind of which would make me pause and think, would be in that same vein. Do I want to put a 320 on my M16, or do I maybe want flak jacket? I'm going to be laying on the conquest point. A little bit heavy armored would be good. Now I know you guys said this is in the perk, but basically what I'm doing is I'm giving them this perk natively. So then they could take another perk if they choose to keep the perk system. I don't even know. So they can almost think about it stacking perk. I'm almost giving them extra perks, but these are perks that would guide them towards what they should be doing. I'm not going to give them a perk that would let them go, sit on a hillside and snipe with a AN-94. No, this is going to be things that kind of, a flak jacket. You're supposed to be on the objectives. You're supposed to be arming the MCOMs. You're supposed to be laying in the conquest point, whatever it might be. Flak jacket is going to help you. It fits the role. You don't want to just let these guys armor up and be tanks and juggernauts. Obviously, they would have the best weapon. They would have flak jacket, and then they might have another perk. Well, so make them choose. Do you go with flak jacket, or maybe another option they would have is, think again, give them a sprint perk. So maybe they don't go flak jacket, but they could trade that for more speed. So maybe now in rush, if you're going to run a flank route, I'm going to go assault class. I'm going to pick my weapon I like, and instead of like a flak jacket or something like that, I'm going to go with more speed, which maybe that means I carry less default ammo. There's all kinds of trade-offs you could do here. I know these aren't sexy, these aren't, revolutionary ideas. The beauty for me is not in necessarily new features, it's in the balance, the trade-offs, what you're asking people to decide. And that's what it's all about in these games, is making a decision. So I'm trying to make people make decisions, and I'm trying to make them, you know, when you get killed by somebody and you're like, wow, what was he running? And you look at it and they show you everything, you're like, okay, wow, all right, I hadn't thought of necessarily that combination in that situation, but man, it worked there, you know. So like I said, all right, so we go into the menus. So all right, I don't want a 320, I don't want an underbarrel, I don't need it. I'm gonna be, you know, I got my M16 or AEK, whatever the new god weapon might be in that class in Battlefield 4. So now your decision's like, all right, I'm gonna attack the MCOMs here head on. I'm hoping I can get in, get an arm. It's probably gonna be naded. Let me take flak jacket. Or maybe your train of thought, like I said, is like, all right, these guys are heavily defended up the middle. I'm gonna run the flank with my squad mates. Guys, let's all take speed. We'll carry light. We'll go speed. We'll flank around the side. Speed kills. Speed get behind. You're gonna get a lot of back rage. You know, that's the thing. Now what you're gonna do in squad comps, you're gonna go, all right, if we're gonna do that, 3 of us are gonna take the assault class with the speed perk. We need 1 support guy with ammo to follow us up to keep us ammo, because we're running light. We're not going to have as much default ammo. You see how this works? It kind of intertwines. It works together, and it brings people together theoretically. I mean, I know I come from a point now where I have a lot of people to play with. We do communicate a lot, so that's how I kind of talk about the game. But I fully understand that people play solo, and forcing you to depend on other people can be iffy. So to that end, maybe you give the guy the opposite option, you know. Maybe he doesn't want flak jacket because he's not going to go arm MCOM. Sometimes that's hard to do when you're playing solo. I understand that. Maybe you don't need speed because you can't rely on support guys. We all know a really good support player in Battlefield 3 is hard to find. When you do, you might as well ask them to marry you, because they can be awesome and they can make your day. So maybe you give them more default ammo. Basically the ammo perk. And basically what I'm doing here is Assault, is I'm taking some of the perks they have, which are good concepts, and I'm letting them take almost an extra one. Not all of them, but again, just the ones that kind of lean towards their role, what they should be doing. So in essence, what you could do is you're going to pick your assault kit now, and you're going to pick your assault rifle, or I guess you could do an all-kit weapon if you so choose. I don't know why you would take assault with that, but hey, whatever you want to do, freedom. And then your decision is going to be basically, am I going to break down doors and walls with the 320s or something like that? Am I going to go lay on MCOMs with my flak jacket? I have a little extra armor, a little extra protection. Maybe I want to play the speed and go for that back rage and flank. I'll take some added speed, but that means I'm carrying, my rig is going to be a little bit lighter. For that increased speed, I have to give something up. I'm going to give up ammo. I'm not going to carry a flak jacket, that type of thing. Or maybe I just kind of want to run the run-of-the-mill guy. I've got my, you know, my magazines on my chest rig, or, you know, whatever, and I don't have flak jacket, I don't have increased speed, but I have 8 or 9 mags. You know, that type of thing. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have to be out of left field, but that decision there, I mean, I would have a hard time with that decision, and I would be changing that decision mid-match a lot. You know, depending on what the enemy team is doing, depending on what my role is changing to, I would change that quite a bit, and I would also kind of, I should have spoke about this in my video about looking towards Battlefield 4. They have to change the UI. It has to be much easier to change these things on the fly. Assume they do. Assume we can change this on the fly. Then I think they need to put an increased focus and an increased urgency, I guess, on making people make decisions. Don't just run the same kit on every map, in every situation, in every game mode. If people are doing that, which I'm sure their data shows them, something's wrong. Something's not right. I feel like here, the changes may be subtle, but you're going to have clear-cut decisions based on what you want to do. So there you go, guys. There's just a couple concepts I had. You know, keep in mind, I'm trying to keep it in the parameters of what we have. I know I've said that. I can't just throw out big, you know, pie-in-the-sky ideas, because, I mean, as much as I'd love to, I think that would kind of be a little irrelevant at this point, because we kind of know that they're going to stick to relatively same template, I would think. So I like to try and just talk about what resources, what tools, and what templates we have available to us right now. Like always, guys, in the comments, please let me know what you think. You guys had a lot of great ideas and concepts in the previous video. I enjoyed reading them, and I believe at this point I've replied to every single one of them. So I hope you guys can kind of get back at me. Let's continue the discussion. Read other guys' comments too, guys. Don't just, you know, post yours and wait for a reply. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Like always, guys, I appreciate the support. I appreciate you watching. Like, favorite, subscribe, and tweet it out if you think your friends might be interested. Other than that, guys, I will talk to you soon. Take care.